You're listening to The Moose and the Loose, your 10 minutes action-packed financial podcast with your host, Mikey Hu. Hey, what's up, Market Moose? Mike from The Moose on the Loose. I hope you're doing well. Yesterday was election day for our neighbors, and Trump won big time. So what does it mean for the market? What does it mean for your investments? This is what we're going to talk about. And I'm going to tell you up front what I'm going to change in my portfolio following that win. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm going to get back to this at the end of this show. But first, let's take a look at what happens after election day. So I got this research from Whitechart. The last time I told you a little bit more about which are if Republicans or Democrats were better for the market. In the end, was pretty much of a draw, depending on all the other factors. In the other, long story short, politics did not affect that much. And then I looked at what happened the day after the election. So today, what to happen, right? So if you are listening this before the market opens, the market is up big time. Like all the futures for the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, everything is up almost between 1.70% to almost 3%. Tesla is up 12% pre-market. Gold and silver is down almost 3% for gold, almost 5% for silver. Crude oil is down actually almost 3%, back to $70. And Bitcoin is actually up by 7.6%. So as you can see, a lot of high, a lot of drop among sectors that are affected right now. We see that clean energy, all the renewables, they are down, most of them double digit, Invesco Solar -8, First Solar -12, Sunrun -14, Sunnova -17, and so on. So definitely not a good thing. On the other side, oil and gas stocks are up, prison stocks are up, banking stocks are up. So a lot of positive and negative views depending on where you stand. But that's one day. That's actually not even one day. That's pre-market. So what's going to happen once the market opens, that is something different as well. I remember that last time Trump won, there was a lot of stocks that were up as well. And in fact, I went back in time and looked at the Whitechart report, and they said that during the Trump election in 2016, the market ended the day up by 1.11%. So up 1%, not too bad. And 2 months after election day, the market was up 6.16%. In comparison, in 2020, and then keep in mind, that was the end of 2020. We were getting better news about the pandemic at that time. So Biden, when he won, the market on that day was up 2.2%. And after 2 months, it was up 14%. So is it good? Is it bad that Trump won? Honestly, I'm not here to do politics, but from a stock market point of view, from an investing point of view, I don't have much to say about that. Interestingly, the most positive market reaction since 1952 was when Biden won in 2020 by 2.2%. Keep in mind, once again, at the end of 2020, we were up for a very solid bull market in 2021. So that's probably also counted for. So not necessarily going to cheer up for Biden. That was probably just happening like this. And to give you an idea, the most negative market reaction was minus 5.27%. And can you guess in which year it happened? Forget about who won or who lost on that day. It happened in 2008, in November of 2008, when everything was bleak and it was the end of the financial system and the end of capitalism and the end of banks. So long story short, not too sure you should read something today out of what's happening. Anyways, chances are it's going to fade out after a few days, and the results, the financial metrics, the real numbers are actually going to speak a lot louder in the coming months, in the coming quarters, instead of just having a new president or not. So, back to the question, why am I not changing anything in my portfolio? Well, because my portfolio is well diversified and I'm not here to take guesses on what may or may not happen because there's a shift in the presidency on the south of the border. It is a lot of noise. It's going to be good for some companies. It's going to be bad for some companies. In the end, I really believe that most companies will adapt. They adapt, they find ways to get better. And if you have a well diversified portfolio, there's not much to do about that. Of course, this morning, if you are heavily invested in cryptocurrencies and technology stocks, you probably smile. And if you are like heavy on China and on renewable stocks, well, you probably cry. But that's just one day. That's actually like a few hours before the market opens. So not even mean that it's going to end up like this. We're going to have some volatility as usual. What am I expecting from the change in politics that could have an impact on my portfolio? Well, probably tariffs and renewable that may be hurt. In my portfolio on the renewable side, I have just Brookfield Renewable Corporation that is like wide diversified, that is making a lot of like corporate deals now with big guys such as Microsoft. Before market opening, the stock price is down 4.5%. Is it going to stand? What's going to happen? I mean, if the business is still able to keep up and ink those kind of contracts because there's a huge demand for energy, I'm not that worried, right? So that will be probably the only stock that I have that could be affected in the renewable aspect. And then for the rest, I mean, yes, there are likely a raise of tariffs that will impact import export depending on where you stand. So maybe that is going to have an impact going the long run, but we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait for the nature of the tariffs. We'll have to wait for the negotiation with other countries and all the other stuff. So yes, you may want to take a bet right away and start trading, but I'm just not this type of guy. I rather look at what happens, wait until I have like facts and numbers instead of just trying on a gut feeling. So my gut tells me that we're going to have like more tariffs because Trump talked about that a lot, but how it's going to impact the companies in my portfolio, we'll have to see. We'll have to see because sometimes you think that it is going to be good or bad for a company, and then the opposite happens, and everybody's like, what? So I don't want to be part of that thing. And you know what? Trump's going to be there for 4 years. So my portfolio it was there way before him, way after him. So it's not going to change anything on that side either. So yeah, Moose, that's enough for today. Long story short, I don't do anything on politics, and it's going to be the same song soon on the Keen side. Are we going to have like elections sooner than later? Maybe, but it's not going to impact how I manage my portfolio. Of course, I'll be a little bit more invested on the politics sides because I will vote, but that's another story, and that doesn't concern my portfolio either. So take good care. We're going to talk again tomorrow, and until then, don't forget to stay invested. Hey, welcome to the disclaimer. If you're listening to The Moose and the Loose, you cannot really expect me to give you buy or sell recommendation or financial advice, right? You're here for fun, you're here for information and some entertainment. But I am not your financial advisor, I am not your broker, so therefore I'm not liable if you're losing money after listening to the podcast. If you're looking for some advice, go see a professional. If not, you can enjoy this show and do your due diligence after it.